Dealerships across the country are struggling to move certain Harley-Davidson bikes, and that means one thing: some of the most reliable engines ever made are now hiding behind price tags too good to ignore. In this countdown, we reveal 7 legendary Harley engines built to last a lifetime and beyond. Number 7. Harley-Davidson Twin Cam 96. When Harley-Davidson rolled out the Twin Cam 96 engine in the year 2007, it signaled a major leap forward in both refinement and reliability. This engine remained in production until the year 2016, and during that time it earned a reputation among loyal riders as a true workhorse of the open road. With a displacement of 1,584 cubic centimeters, the Twin Cam 96 was built to satisfy long-haul touring demands and deliver a smoother, quieter ride without compromising on Harley's trademark rumble. The engine produced approximately 68 horsepower and an impressive 92 pound-feet of torque. What really set this engine apart was not just the raw numbers, but how seamlessly it delivered that power through the rev range. Riders praised the low-end grunt that made cruising feel effortless, especially when paired with Harley's 6-speed cruise-drive transmission. The engine also included an internal twin-gear oil pump that improved oil circulation and greatly reduced heat buildup, contributing to extended longevity under stress. It was the first Harley engine since the Knucklehead era to feature a bore larger than 3.75 inches, showcasing its bold engineering. Mechanically, the Twin Cam 96 maintained Harley's air-cooled V-twin configuration with a 45-degree angle between cylinders, keeping the traditional layout intact while implementing significant internal upgrades. The stronger crankshaft, redesigned cam chain tensioners, and updated oil routing system were all engineered to reduce mechanical wear, keeping maintenance costs lower over time. Fuel delivery came courtesy of Harley's electronic sequential port fuel injection system, which allowed for precise throttle control and improved fuel economy across all riding conditions. This engine found its way into a range of Harley models, including the Softail and Dyna series, where it became especially beloved by riders who demanded consistency and simplicity from their machines. For many touring enthusiasts, it provided the ideal balance between traditional Harley personality and modern dependability. The ride was both smooth and punchy, perfect for rolling across state lines, mountain passes, or long straightaways on the open highway. The weight of most motorcycles powered by the Twin Cam 96 hovered around 670 to 700 pounds, with seat heights generally in the 26 to 27-inch range, giving most riders a low-slung, grounded feel. While the Twin Cam 96 might not have had the same brute strength as some newer Milwaukee-8 variants, it earned its legendary status through one key trait: reliability. Mechanics often report these engines as among the least troublesome in the Harley lineup, particularly when properly maintained. Many riders have pushed their mileage well past 100,000 miles with only basic upkeep, a testament to the engine's thoughtful design and bulletproof internals. With a starting price for bikes using this engine typically ranging from $11,000 to $16,000 on the used market, depending on condition, mileage, and customization, there is still strong demand for what many consider to be one of Harley's most balanced power plants. It may have modern guts, but our next engine proves that simplicity and soul are what truly stand the test of time. We've researched the most iconic and reliable Harley engines ever made, and trust us, these are the machines that stand the test of time. If you're enjoying this deep dive into Harley's best, hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Number 6. Harley-Davidson Flathead. There are engines that serve their purpose, and then there are engines that become symbols of endurance. The Flathead stands firmly in the second category. Produced from the year 1929 until 1973, this engine not only powered bikes, it powered a generation of riders through war, hardship, and some of the most rugged conditions ever faced by a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. What set the Flathead apart from its peers was its pure mechanical honesty. It featured a side valve design, also known as a flathead configuration, where the valves were set beside the piston rather than above it. This layout made it much easier to service and maintain in field conditions. The engine came in two main variants throughout its life. The 737 cubic centimeter model, often called the Model D, and the larger 1212 cubic centimeter version found in the Model Y-L. The high-compression 1212 cubic centimeter model produced approximately 30 horsepower and around 55 pound-feet of torque. While these numbers may sound modest by today's standards, they were more than enough to handle the grueling terrain of war zones and unpaved American roads. The Flathead was an air-cooled V-twin engine with a 45-degree configuration. It used a compression ratio of about 4.75 to 1 on the higher compression variants. Its top speed varied depending on the model and setup, ranging from 65 to 85 miles per hour. While not a high-revving machine, the engine's low-end torque and strong build quality made it ideal for hauling gear, carrying passengers, or simply cruising without breaking a sweat. These features, combined with a low center of gravity and simple construction, gave the Flathead its near-legendary reputation for reliability. Where this engine truly earned its stripes, however, was on the battlefield. During World War II, the Flathead powered the iconic WLA military motorcycles used by the United States Army. These bikes were stripped-down workhorses equipped with heavy-duty suspensions, blackout lights, and rugged luggage racks. The Flathead engine's ability to start reliably in mud, rain, cold, and dust made it a battlefield hero. Its forgiving mechanical tolerances meant that even when parts were worn or maintenance was lacking, the engine would still run and keep running. Mechanics in the field could repair Flatheads with minimal tools, and soldiers trusted these bikes to get them through missions that trucks and Jeeps couldn't handle. Most models tipped the scales at roughly 450 to 500 pounds, depending on military or civilian outfitting. The gearbox was typically a 3-speed hand-shift unit with a foot clutch, reinforcing its old-school roots and giving it that authentic, rugged feel that Harley purists still admire today. When these bikes first hit the market, they were priced at around $325 in the early 1930s. By the time World War II versions were rolling off the line, military contract pricing averaged just under $400 per unit. In modern terms, that may seem like pocket change, but adjusted for inflation, that range translates to roughly $7,000 to $8,500 today, an astonishing value given the Flathead's mechanical toughness and historical significance. While the Flathead fought in wars, this next engine conquered the streets and hearts of Harley lovers everywhere. If you're serious about riding smart, grab the gear we trust. It's all linked in the description. Number 5. Harley-Davidson Evolution. In the middle of the 1980s, Harley-Davidson was facing an identity crisis. Riders were frustrated with oil leaks, heat issues, and mechanical problems plaguing the Shovelhead era. But in 1984, the game changed. The Evolution engine, often called the Evo and lovingly nicknamed the Blockhead for its squared-off cylinder heads, ushered in a new age of performance, simplicity, and dependability. Built to win back the confidence of American bikers, the Evo became a cornerstone in Harley-Davidson's modern legacy. At the core of this engine is a V-twin design with a displacement of 1,340 cubic centimeters. It produced approximately 64 horsepower and 80 pound-feet of torque, giving it a solid balance of low-end grunt and highway cruising confidence. The compression ratio was set at 8.5 to 1, and the bore and stroke measured 3.5 inches by 4.25 inches. These figures combined to give the Evo a strong, thumping rhythm that kept the spirit of Harley's past alive. The Evo was a major leap forward in engineering precision. For the first time, Harley-Davidson used aluminum heads and cylinders instead of cast iron. This allowed the engine to run significantly cooler while also reducing overall weight and engine wear. The improved lubrication system was another breakthrough, drastically reducing oil leaks and improving long-term reliability. Earlier engines had gained a reputation for messy garage floors and high maintenance demands, but the Evo changed that completely. Riders began to trust their bikes again, not just for weekend rides, but for cross-country journeys. One of the key advantages of the Evolution engine was its user-friendly design. Mechanics and riders alike appreciated the ease of maintenance. There were fewer moving parts compared to other designs, and the materials used were more resilient to both time and heat. The engine responded well to customization and performance tuning, which opened the floodgates for the aftermarket industry. Whether it was mild tweaks for smoother touring or full-on custom builds, the Evo took it all in stride. The engine was first introduced in the FXR, which instantly became a favorite for its balance and agility. Then it made its way into the Softail series, where it really took off. The combination of the Softail frame with the smooth, cool-running Evo created an experience that many older Harley riders still talk about today. Other models that benefited from the Evo's reliability include the Electra Glide, the Heritage Softail Classic, and the Dyna series. In terms of mechanical components, the Evo featured a single camshaft design and hydraulic lifters that reduced the need for regular adjustments. The 5-speed gearbox was paired perfectly to the engine's torque curve, offering reliable shifting and steady power delivery. The typical weight of a bike equipped with the Evo ranged between 600 and 670 pounds, depending on the model. In terms of value, the Evo-era Harleys are still relatively affordable, especially compared to newer models. A well-maintained Evolution-powered bike can be found on the market for around $8,000 to $12,000, depending on mileage, model, and upgrades. That makes it a compelling option for riders looking to own a piece of Harley history that still has plenty of road left to cover. The Evo may have saved Harley's reputation, but what came next changed the rules of the game entirely. Number 4. Harley-Davidson Revolution Max. There was a time when no one believed Harley-Davidson would ever stray from air-cooled V twin engines. For decades, the sound, the shake, and the simplicity were part of what defined the brand. But in the year 2021, something changed. Harley-Davidson unveiled a brand new engine that defied expectations, embraced modern engineering, and launched the company into an entirely new category of performance. The Revolution Max engine is a true modern marvel. At its core, it is a liquid-cooled V-twin with dual overhead camshafts and 4 valves per cylinder. Available in 2 primary displacements, the 975 cubic centimeter version and the 1250 cubic centimeter version, this engine delivers incredible performance across the board. The most powerful variant produces an impressive 150 horsepower and 94 pound-feet of torque. Unlike older engines that demanded constant tuning and valve checks, the Revolution Max features hydraulic valve lash adjusters, which dramatically reduce maintenance needs and ensure long-term reliability. Variable valve timing further enhances both performance and efficiency, offering smoother acceleration and power delivery through the entire rev range. This engine is paired with a 6-speed manual transmission and a gear-driven counterbalancer that minimizes vibration while maintaining that iconic Harley rumble. On the road, it feels responsive, planted, and surprisingly nimble, qualities that were once foreign to the Harley brand. In terms of application, the Revolution Max first debuted in the Pan America, an adventure touring motorcycle that marked Harley-Davidson's entry into a segment dominated by rivals like BMW and KTM. The engine was also placed in the Sportster S, giving the traditionally stripped-down line a radically updated and muscular feel. These 2 motorcycles alone proved that the Revolution Max engine was not just a one-off experiment, it was the future of Harley-Davidson performance. Beyond the raw numbers, the Revolution Max engine also features advanced electronic rider aids, including ride-by-wire throttle, selectable ride modes, and cornering-enhanced anti-lock braking systems, all of which integrate seamlessly with the engine's characteristics. The result is a machine that feels intelligent, adaptable, and truly modern, while still preserving the emotional connection riders expect from Harley-Davidson. In real-world testing, the engine delivers strong low-end torque for urban riding, but also screams to the top of the tachometer for highway pulls and canyon carving. It has a top speed of approximately 130 miles per hour, depending on the model and final gearing. Despite its performance, the engine still manages to meet strict emissions regulations, making it one of Harley-Davidson's most future-proof platforms. When it comes to physical construction, the Revolution Max is built with magnesium covers to reduce weight, and the engine is a stressed member of the frame in both the Pan America and Sportster S, meaning it contributes directly to chassis rigidity and handling precision. In terms of weight, the Pan America comes in at approximately 562 pounds wet, while the Sportster S weighs closer to 502 pounds, making them significantly lighter than traditional Harley cruisers. As for price, the Revolution Max-equipped Pan America starts at approximately $19,999, while the Sportster S begins around $16,399. These price points reflect the high level of engineering and technology embedded in both bikes, offering riders performance previously unheard of in Harley's cruiser and touring segments. Modern power has its place, but let's rewind to an engine that still rumbles through the streets like a war drum. Number 3. Harley-Davidson Knucklehead. Back in the year 1936, Harley-Davidson unveiled an engine that would change the course of motorcycle engineering forever. It was bold, it was revolutionary, and it sounded like nothing else on the road. This was the Knucklehead, an overhead valve V-twin engine that finally gave Harley riders the power and reliability they had been craving. It wasn't just a new design, it was the beginning of Harley-Davidson's rise to dominance in American motorcycling. The Knucklehead came in 2 displacements, 1,000 cubic centimeters at launch, and later a larger 1,200 cubic centimeter version introduced in the year 1941. Both were air-cooled V-twin configurations set at a 45-degree angle, and both ran with a compression ratio around 6.5 to 1. Though the numbers may seem modest by today's standards, the Knucklehead delivered around 45 horsepower and 45 pound-feet of torque that was a massive leap over its predecessors, especially when paired with Harley's 4-speed transmission. One of the standout features of the Knucklehead engine was its innovative pressurized oil system. Earlier Harley engines like the Flathead relied on total loss oil systems or gravity feed, which often made them messy and unreliable over long distances. The Knucklehead's dry sump oiling system changed all that. It provided consistent lubrication under high stress, high speed conditions, a critical step forward in engineering at the time. Combined with a robust double cradle frame, the entire package was more than just an engine. It was the core of a long-distance touring machine. The iconic nickname, Knucklehead, came not from Harley-Davidson themselves, but from riders who noticed that the rocker covers on each cylinder head looked like a clenched fist or knuckles. That distinctive silhouette has become one of the most beloved visual cues in the world of vintage motorcycles. And it's not just for looks. The engine was striking in both sound and performance. Whether it was idling at a stoplight or screaming down a stretch of open highway, the Knucklehead had a voice all its own. And it did more than sound good. It broke records. In the year 1937, racer Joe Petrali piloted a Knucklehead-powered motorcycle to a blistering 136.18 miles per hour on the sands of Daytona Beach, setting a new land speed record for Harley-Davidson. That same year, the Knucklehead proved its reliability by covering 1,825 miles in just 24 hours, an average speed of 76 miles per hour, virtually unheard of for that era. The standard weight of a Knucklehead-powered bike hovered around 560 to 580 pounds, depending on the trim and accessories, making it a manageable heavyweight by touring standards. The Knucklehead wasn't just a power plant, it was the mechanical soul of an entire generation of riders. From factory floors to racetracks to outlaw clubs and desert highways, this engine carved its place into American history. Even today, original Knucklehead bikes and engines are among the most sought-after pieces in vintage motorcycle collecting, often selling for upwards of $50,000 depending on condition and provenance. The Knucklehead earned its place in history, but the next engine turned vintage durability into long-haul performance. Number 2. Harley-Davidson Shovelhead. For old-school riders who know what it means to build, brake, and ride hard, the Shovelhead engine remains a living symbol of freedom, rebellion, and rough-edged endurance. First introduced in the year 1966 and produced until the year 1984, this engine defined the chopper era, giving custom builders and club riders the mechanical foundation for an entire generation of hand-built American machines. The Shovelhead was the power plant of choice during the rise of outlaw motorcycle culture, not just for how it looked, but because it took abuse, kept pushing forward, and demanded respect in return. This engine was available in 2 displacements over its production run, a 1,200 cubic centimeter variant and a larger 1,300 cubic centimeter version introduced in the early 1970s. Both carried a reputation for solid, low-end, torque-rugged design and a distinctive sound that came from the familiar 45-degree V-twin layout. Horsepower output hovered around 70, while peak torque landed near 80 pound-feet. Those numbers might seem modest on paper, but in real-world riding, especially on stripped-down choppers or loaded touring setups, they translated to mile-eating, throttle-hungry performance. And that unmistakable mechanical rumble made every ride feel like a rolling thunderstorm. In terms of construction, the Shovelhead used an overhead valve design with aluminum heads and larger intake and exhaust ports than its predecessor, the Panhead. That meant improved airflow, better combustion, and more efficient heat dissipation. The engine got its name from the shape of its rocker boxes, which looked like inverted coal shovels. These weren't just cosmetic choices, they made the engine stand out on the street, in parking lots, and at every roadside bar across America. Riders also appreciated its relatively simple maintenance compared to other bikes of the time. With a wrench and a weekend, most issues could be handled in the garage. No computer diagnostics, no dealership visits, just grease, patience, and steel. As for specs, the Shovelhead came with a dry weight ranging between 560 and 620 pounds depending on the model it powered. It was air-cooled, featured a chain-driven primary, and was usually paired with a 4-speed transmission. When new motorcycles powered by the Shovelhead engine typically ranged in price from just under $2,000 in the late 1960s to just over $5,000 by the early 1980s. For example, a 1977 Electra Glide with a 1,300 cubic centimeter Shovelhead was priced at approximately $4,200. Adjusted for inflation, that places it in the range of $18,000 to $24,000 in today's money. Still a relative bargain for the iconic performance and attitude it delivered. You've seen the Rebels and the Revolutionaries. Now meet the one-engine Harley riders trust above all the rest. We've carefully compared these legendary engines to help you find the best Harley for your riding needs. If this video is helping you make your decision, don't forget to subscribe and let us know which Harley engine you trust the most in the comments. Number 1. Harley-Davidson Milwaukee-8 117. If you ask today's touring veterans which engine defines Harley-Davidson's peak performance and refinement, most will point straight to the Milwaukee-8 117. Launched in the year 2017, this engine represents the absolute top of the line when it comes to Harley's factory offerings. It is found in the brand's most premium machines, the custom vehicle operations lineup, and it stands as a benchmark of both brute strength and smooth engineering. While many engines in Harley's long history carry nostalgic weight, the 117 demands respect through modern capability. This power plant didn't just arrive quietly, it roared into the scene with undeniable authority and continues to dominate highways from coast to coast. At the core of the Milwaukee-8 117 is a monster of a motor, displacing 1,920 cubic centimeters. It delivers an impressive 125 pound-feet of torque and 107 horsepower. These numbers aren't just bragging rights, they translate directly into real-world confidence when passing on the freeway or climbing steep grades with a full touring load. The engine features 4 valves per cylinder, a single camshaft, and dual spark plugs per head, creating cleaner combustion and stronger acceleration across the rev range. A counterbalancer helps reduce vibration, while precision oil and air cooling systems keep it running efficiently during long-distance rides or stop-and-go city traffic. This engine also marks a return to a simpler, more traditional setup with its single camshaft, similar in concept to designs used in Harley's Big Twins from 1936 to 1999. Yet it achieves this with the modern finesse that older engines could never match. The response at the throttle is crisp and immediate,
while the deep, rhythmic idle still delivers that unmistakable Harley rumble. Riders stepping off older models often describe the transition as moving from raw power to controlled dominance. It is a ride that keeps its heritage intact, but leaves behind the mechanical compromises of previous generations.
In terms of application, the Milwaukee-8 117 is found exclusively in the brand's custom vehicle operations lineup. That includes the Road Glide CVO, the Street Glide CVO, and the Limited CVO. Each one tailored with handcrafted details, upgraded electronics, premium paint, and top-tier finishing. These bikes are not just machines, they are rolling statements of craftsmanship, built for riders who demand the best in both performance and prestige. While they carry a higher price tag, often starting at around $54,900, they also include Harley's most advanced infotainment systems, suspension technology, and rider assist features.
From a mechanical standpoint, the engine sits in a reinforced frame designed to handle the extra power. Wet weight for most CVO models powered by the 117 falls just over 975 pounds, making them heavy, yes, but incredibly stable at highway speeds and during cornering.
Which of these legendary Harley engines surprised you the most? Drop your favorite in the comments below. If you enjoyed this ride through Harley's finest, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more in-depth reviews and legendary bike breakdowns.